normalcy to come.
Coming up on News Live at 6, Syracuse University Vice Chancellor Michael Haynie shares what the fall semester could look like.
And students are allowed back in the Dome again this weekend for men's and women's lacrosse. The latest on fans in the Dome.
And some big changes are coming to Syracuse's St. Patrick's Day celebration. All that and more. News Live at 6 starts right now.
This is CitrusTV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
1 year ago today, Vice Chancellor Michael Haynie announced to the SU community that classes would move online until at least March 30th. Good evening, I'm Liam Crowley.
And I'm Oscar Offerman. Little did anyone know that we would not return to campus until the fall semester. It was a year of unpredictability with social distancing and mask mandates in effect. With cases dropping over the last few months and vaccine rollout picking up, many are hopeful that the worst of the pandemic is behind us. We now go to a video essay from Citrus TV's Ricky Sayer.
It's been a year since everything changed.
We will suspend residential instruction.
A year since we lost control of what comes next.
Students are leaving for spring break, unsure when or if they will return this semester.
A year since campus fell quiet. We've watched as cases rose and fell. In so many instances, both at home and on campus, we've experienced loss, but have been forced to mourn apart. There's been a graduation without graduates, a major milestone marked without the traditional celebration.
We had planned to come together this week.
Our emotions have been torn in so many ways, by isolation and, of course, the images to flash across our screens. For so many of us, emotion turning to action.
Hey, you young people that's out here now, you gotta start using your votes collectively.
We've counted on the actions of the institution charged with delivering us a bright future, now to keep us safe. As a campus community, we've largely adapted. We wear masks, we social distance. There have been hiccups, but we're here right now. And through it all, there's been signs of light across the region our college calls home. The Krause hospital worker trading in what must be a trademark smile for a sign sure to brighten a patient's day. There was the return of Pizza Freet, which...
the best that's happened all week.
And just recently, the Dome reopening for students. The vaccine is here. We've seen it with our own eyes. The university says they hope to vaccinate students this semester. Perhaps today's unseasonably warm weather is just a metaphor for what's to come. In Syracuse, Ricky Sayer, Citrus TV News.
Thank you, Ricky, for that impactful review of this unprecedented year. SU has updated their COVID-19 dashboard today. 6 new students have tested positive for COVID-19, 4 within CNY, 2 away.
The current active case count sits at 40 students and faculty members in CNY and 4 away. There are 130 students in quarantine.
And new details from the Dome. Syracuse University will allow fans in the Carrier Dome again this weekend. New York State has approved students to attend the women's lacrosse game on March 14th. Spectators will also be allowed into the men's lacrosse game on March 20th. Joining us live with more is CitrusTV reporter Bradley Hoppenstein. Bradley, how exactly can students get their hands on some tickets?
Tickets, show up here to the Dome for a test between 9 and 11 on Friday morning, download their mobile ticket to their phone, and then of course produce a negative COVID test. It had been 370 days since fans packed the Carrier Dome, but on Saturday, Syracuse University became the first major college in New York State to reopen its stadium to fans. Governor Cuomo announced in February that a limited number of fans could return to indoor venues, but SU's plan wasn't approved until late last Wednesday night.
This is good because this is going to give some of these kids who've never been in that facility, other than probably getting a test, an opportunity to go and cheer on some of their classmates.
Under the approved plan, students attending games in the Dome have to take 2 COVID tests, one 24 hours prior to the game during a window designated by SU, and another 15-minute rapid test when entering on game day. Now, once they got their negative test results, students could make their way to their seats, which were these pre-marked orange socially distanced seats with no more than 4 students sitting next to each other. But the combination of COVID precautions and late notice of fan admission brought consequences. SU prepared Saturday's pilot program to host 900 students, but only 248 actually attended.
For the next one, I believe people will be more ready, and I think that people will see that, hey, this was done successfully. Maybe we can join in.
And just announced this morning, Syracuse will continue to allow students into the Dome for games, now with a push to get first-year and transfer students into the stadium.
Today, we announced 2 more state-approved pilots for student fans.
Looking ahead, SU has not publicly announced any plans to increase the number of fans, but under the state's 10% policy for indoor venues, the Carrier Dome's maximum capacity would be about 4,900 people.
And we apologize for the technical difficulties there. We do want to let you know that 4,900 number, it's unclear if SU will increase that number going forward, but it seems right now that they're just hoping to get to that 900 number to keep everyone safe. And I think I can speak for all of us when I say we are definitely looking forward to getting back in the Dome, aside from just COVID testing. And the latest from SU, Vice Chancellor Michael Haynie. The Vice Chancellor shared today that he hopes for the fall semester to be much more open. He believes the university may find normalcy once again. Here's what he had to say.
A place where it might not look like January a year ago before all this started, but I do think come the fall, we are going to be back to normal, if not normal, capacity in our spaces.
Stephanie Johnson-Cunningham is the next speaker in the University Lecture Series. Johnson-Cunningham is the co-founder and director of Museum Hue, an organization supporting Black, Indigenous, and other people of color. The lecture will be next Wednesday, March 17th at 7:30 p.m. Interested students can register on the SU website.
And New Jersey Senator Cory Booker will speak at the Toner Prize event for excellence in political reporting. The ceremony is hosted annually by Syracuse University, but this year will be a bit different because of the pandemic and will be held virtually. Awards are given out at both the local and national levels. The pre-recorded ceremony will be available to the public on March 26th.
And a massive party along with a riot rocked Colorado University at Boulder. CitrusTV reporter Samantha Lindell joins us now with more.
So there was a huge party over the weekend, and pretty much it caused so much damage at CU Boulder, and there was a lot of destruction. I was able to catch up with a student at CU Boulder to figure out what happened. There was a lot of danger, and police officers were injured, and there was major destruction of property and of students and residents alike.
You couldn't even drive through it. You had to drive around it despite it being in the middle of the street. Like there were so many people that you literally could not get a car through there. And we were kind of scared that we would get the car attacked. We just saw fireworks being lit off in the middle of the street. So we got a text from the emergency system that said, Boulder police are responding to a large party in the area of 10th and Pennsylvania. People in the area could be subject to arrest and CU sanctions. And they also sent out an email that was just the subject line was run, hide, fight. But that didn't really do anything. And the cops are kind of like outnumbered because like they don't have like enough cops in this area to like deal with the student population because there's just so many kids here. I think they handled it in the best way they could.
After learning more about what went on during the party, I wanted to ask some SU students about their perspective on what would happen if the same instance were to occur here in Syracuse.
Honestly, I don't think much would happen here given the fact that there have been several parties and like the quad party at the beginning of the year and the administration hasn't done much on campus to stop it. I think there'd just be like a strict email but no serious consequences. Bringing in the SWAT team I think was a little extreme, but it did make a statement and did like show that it is serious, and I think it did scare students to not do that again.
I don't think it actually happened here though, to be honest, because I feel like people are more conscious and like hold each other more accountable. I think that bringing in the SWAT team was a little extreme, but honestly it makes sense for what the videos were showing and like how out of control it was. So I think they probably made the right call for that.
Investigations by UC Boulder administration are still underway to identify the students who took part in criminal offenses. But hopefully, SU students can learn from their mistakes. Back to you, Liam and Oscar.
Thanks, Sammy. And now the weather outside has been very, very warm today, around 60 degrees. But will this warm weather continue to stick around? Citrus TV weather anchor Peyton Spellacy joins us now with more. Peyton.
Yes, Oscar, there is a lot of sun in our future. When I woke up today, I had to ask myself, am I really in Syracuse in mid-March? Usually around this time, Syracuse is piled up with snow, but not this week. It is currently 57 degrees with cloudy skies, nice temperature, got some sun out. Moving into tonight, temperatures won't drop that much. It feels like it's going to be 45 degrees, but for a Q's winter night, that's not too bad. I'm definitely not complaining. That's all I have for you now. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Peyton. And new details on the greenest holiday around, St. Patrick's Day is going to be much quieter than normal this year. The parade in downtown Syracuse is canceled because of COVID-19 restrictions.
Even though big gatherings are not happening, restaurants are still planning smaller pub-style events to celebrate. Sky Armory will be having a scaled-back version of its yearly pub party. Their plan includes 3 reservation slots with 30% capacity and other COVID restrictions. And the latest in New York State vaccine rollout. New York State is booking thousands of COVID vaccine appointments for the months of April and May. These new bookings come as Governor Cuomo announces enlarged eligibility for the vaccine, which will now be available to New Yorkers age 60 and over. Appointments will be available both at large vaccination sites such as the New York State Fairgrounds and at pharmacies including Walgreens and CVS.
Coming up after the break, the House passed the $1.9 trillion COVID-19 relief bill. What happens next?
And there's about to be a big increase in vaccine output. Find out which vaccine is getting a boost after the break.
Here at WAER, we're committed to bringing you stories about the Syracuse community. But we know you're busy. You may not always be able to tune into the radio at exactly the right time. So now we're getting you the stories you want, however you want them, whenever you want them. Whether it's through the NPR One app, on our website, or live on air, we're finding new ways to make sure you're getting the quality journalism you deserve. It's never been easier to access reporting you trust and care about.
Whether you're on campus, around town, or across the country, the Daily Orange is your free connection to everything SU and your source for college student perspective on the rest of the city and the world. We produce exclusive original content along with the latest extended coverage on all sports SU. Our free, independent, student-run newspaper is available at over 300 locations in the Syracuse area. The Daily Orange, the independent, student-run newspaper of Syracuse University.
You're watching Citrus TV News with Ricky Sayer, Oscar Offerman, Liam Crowley, Peyton Spellacy, Bradley Hoppenstein, and Samantha Lindell. Citrus TV News, your campus news leader.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. The House of Representatives approved the $1.9 trillion COVID stimulus bill today. President Biden is set to sign the plan into law.
The plan sends a one-time $1,400 check to individuals making under $80,000 per year and will send billions of dollars to bail out state and local governments. $100 billion of those dollars will be sent to New York State specifically. Governor Cuomo has said that the bill will be enough to balance the New York State budget for the next 2 years.
And new details from the Oval Office today. More Johnson & Johnson vaccines are on the way. President Biden announced the purchase of 100 million additional doses.
The president hosted an event today featuring the CEOs of both Johnson & Johnson and its competitor Merck, which is helping Johnson & Johnson with their vaccine production and rollout. Biden also met with other vaccine makers to discuss further plans.
And the latest now from England. British broadcaster Piers Morgan says he stands by his criticism of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle after their tell-all interview with Oprah Winfrey on Sunday. Morgan left his ITV show Good Morning Britain yesterday after the UK's Office of Communications announced it would be investigating Monday's episode under UK harm and offence rules. This morning, Morgan said on Twitter, quote, "Freedom of speech is a hill I'm happy to die on."
Stay tuned after the short break to hear if the sunny weather will carry into tomorrow.
From the Citrus TV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Welcome back. We're looking at the current temperatures right now. It's pretty similar across the area. All cities are much warmer than usual. Each city has about a high of 60 and a low in the mid 40s. So looking into the next 5 days, temperatures will decrease as we see back to where they typically are here in Syracuse. Thursday will be hot though, but we will see some rain showers later that night. For the rest of the week, things are looking pretty uniform with partly cloudy skies. As you can see, it goes from 60s all the way to about 33, so nothing too much to worry about. But tomorrow, you might want to ditch the jacket and snow boots because it's going to be a hot day, almost as hot as today. The sun will be out, the temperatures will be in the 50s, so get ready for another crazy sunny day. As you can see, 8 a.m. starting off with 54 degrees. Noon, we're going into 60, and then 6 p.m., we're going to see 61 degrees. There will be some partially cloudy skies, but around noon, the sun will come out, so that will be very exciting for us here in Syracuse. And while we are thankful for the sun here, Texas is extra appreciative of the sun. Walker, tell us more about Texas' recovery after the winter storm.
Thanks, Peyton. Yeah, this unpredicted warmth is definitely refreshing, but let's not forget about 2 weeks ago. Texas got some unpredicted weather as well, but the scripts were flipped. I spoke to 2 Texans who think the state is slowly recovering. Digital reporter at the Eagle newspaper, Alex
were on leases, and now all of a sudden, they're trying to find somewhere to live on a whim. I mean, I can't even imagine what that's like trying to figure all that out, while you're doing classes and maybe working.
And special ed teacher Sydney Weeks still notices a lot of the state's recovery that's seen in the grocery store.
And so like one of the big ones is coffee creamer.
Okay.
Coffee creamer is still, that was like the first thing to go and still hasn't been replenished. which is a weird thing. It was like the toilet paper when COVID hit.
And both were impacted by the storm in different ways, but after speaking with Miller and Weeks, they said they agree that if it happens again, they will be prepared.
If in 5 years I'm fortunate to own my own home or live somewhere else, I'm going to make sure that pipes are wrapped and faucets are dripping and I have adequate supplies and enough food.
Living in an apartment. She said the frozen pipes wasn't her biggest problem for her. It was just having the basic necessities.
If this happens again, like having bottled water, having battery-powered flashlights that, we always have fresh batteries in, and dry food.
And as of now, it seems Texas is recovering from the unexpected weather. Eric, how are things looking in sports?
Well, Walker, in March, we've got high-stakes basketball. It all comes down to this for the Qs coming up in sports. In a must-win situation, could SU beat on the Wolfpack and get a big win in the ACC tournament? We'll tell you right after this.
Here at WAER, we're committed to bringing you stories about the Syracuse community. But we know you're busy. You may not always be able to tune into the radio at exactly the right time. So now we're getting you the stories you want, however you want them, whenever you want them. Whether it's through the NPR One app, on our website, or live on air, we're finding new ways to make sure you're getting the quality journalism you deserve. It's never been easier to access reporting you trust and care about.
Whether you're on campus, around town, or across the country, the Daily Orange is your free connection to everything SU and your source for college student perspective on the rest of the city and the world. We produce exclusive original content along with the latest extended coverage on all sports SU. Our free, independent, student-run newspaper is available at over 300 locations in the Syracuse area. The Daily Orange, the independent, student-run newspaper of Syracuse University.
And now, your CitrusTV Sports Report.
If you want to make the big dance, you've got to win today. Welcome to sports. I'm Eric Moon. That was SU men's basketball's mission against NC State this afternoon, and they got it done, blowing out the Wolfpack 89-68. Let's head down to the Greensboro for the highs. Wolfpack and Orange Mean for the third time this year, getting going early. Look out below! It's Quincy Guerrier throwing it down. Syracuse takes the lead. They held on to it for the rest of the game. Joe Girard, 90 seconds later, to the cup, and one. He's pumped after that one. But after a run by the Orange, NC State stays in it. It's Braxton Beverly with the tray. NC State down 8, but Syracuse in control of the first half. Buddy Boeheim in control. It's his world, and we're all living in it. He hits the three of his 20, count up 20 points in the first half, doing it all different ways. The J from the free throw line, and then after the feed from Jesse Edwards, here he comes with the floater towards the end of the half. Syracuse up 5 at the break, and then they busted this thing wide open in the second half. Dolezaj, kick out. Alan Griffin, bang! 50-38 Syracuse at that point, and then here comes the dagger from Bobby Buckets. Look at this play, and one to cement the victory for Syracuse. They win it 89-68. So the Orange pick up the victory in their most important game of the season, and Buddy Boeheim played a ginormous role. Buddy stays hot with 27 points. That's the second most points he's scored in a game, not just this year, but also in his Syracuse career. Simply put, Buddy was absolutely ballin' today. But the road gets much harder for Syracuse tomorrow as the Orange take on the ACC's top seed in UVA. The only time these two teams met this season, it was all Hoos in Charlottesville. Virginia won by a bunch thanks in part to Sam Hauser's 21 points. This one tips off tomorrow at high noon in Greensboro. Back on the hill, the hottest team on campus is Cuse women's lacrosse, but SU faces its toughest test so far when it takes on number 4 Notre Dame this weekend. The Orange and the Irish will face off twice this weekend on Thursday and Sunday. And Liam and Oscar, as you guys talked about earlier today, Syracuse University announced earlier this morning fans will be in the building for Sunday's game at noon.
Eric, I just want to talk about the SU men's basketball team for a second. Do they have what it takes at this point to make the NCAA tournament, or will a win at Virginia do it for them?
Just a win today would not have been enough, but they were so dominant against NC State this afternoon, 21-point win, that as long as they keep it close against Virginia tomorrow, I think they're in right now.
All right, thanks, Eric. Coming up, we'll show you one last look at your weather. Stay with us.
What are you, superheroes?
Just 4 brothers who hate bullies and love this city.
Whoa!
Gear up, guys.
Here at WAER, we're committed to bringing you stories about the Syracuse community. But we know you're busy. You may not always be able to tune into the radio at exactly the right time. So now we're getting you the stories you want, however you want them, whenever you want them. Whether it's through the NPR One app, on our website, or live on air, we're finding new ways to make sure you're getting the quality journalism you deserve. It's never been easier to access reporting you trust and care about.
Welcome back to your Wake Up weather. Tomorrow at 8 a.m. it's going to be about 54 degrees. It's going to feel like 50. There will be some clouds in the sky, but don't worry, those will go away all at noon. Now, I just wanted to give you a little sneak peek of what campus looked like today. It was a beautiful day, as you can see. People were outside having picnics, doing some work, enjoying their day. That's all I have for you today on this beautiful Wednesday. Liam and Oscar, over to you.
Thanks, Peyton. Nike just released new Syracuse University-themed basketball shoes named the Dunk High Orange Blaze. These new shoes dropped this morning at 10 a.m. on Nike.com. And on the site this morning, they were priced at $110.
As of now, they are sold out on Nike.com, and they can only be found on popular websites like GOAT and Sneakers. The reason for their popularity is because they were modeled off of the Dunk sneaker made 35 years ago. A fantastic shoe, and one that I hope to get my hands on someday.
I absolutely hope to get a pair as well. They look very similar to an Air Jordan 1, which is kind of my sneaker of choice. Mix in some Syracuse orange colors there. You really can't go wrong. So definitely looking to get my hands on some shoes just like that very soon.
Yeah, you gotta love it. That's all the time we have on News Live at 6. Be sure to follow us at Citrus TV News on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. I'm Oscar Offerman.
And I'm Liam Crowley. Make sure to check out our digital show called the Citrus TV Tap, which airs just about every single day, twice a week. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Have a great night, Syracuse.